Hello and welcome to the More to Life podcast. I am your host, Elle Mace, and today we have a mini episode all about my top tips for gaining confidence. So, as you're listening, just check in with yourself. How confident are you? How confident are you from the outside, and how confident are you from within? And how do you become more confident? Now, we kind of are quick to assume that actually, confidence is found from the outside. And if you carry yourself in a certain way and if you change your body language, then you'll appear more confident. And that is true to a certain extent. Yes, you may be perceived as more confident if you are, giving eye contact and, your body language. But actually, true confidence comes from within. And those people that you see and they just sort of light up a room when they come in and they just ooze a vibe. And it's usually because they're just so secure in themselves. They're not pretending to be anyone else. They just seem really authentic and true to themselves. And they literally shine. And you may be thinking, if I was my sort of true, most authentic self, then maybe I wouldn't shine like that, but you really would. That's just the story you've been telling yourself for so long. So how can you increase your confidence? Here are some of my top tips. Firstly, increase your self-worth. Increase how worthy you feel about yourself. And how do you do that? One thing you can do is to look at your strengths. So what are you good at? And then work on those even more. Now, I actually cannot remember the stat, but I do remember back in my corporate days, I was in a talk with somebody and he said to me, if you increase if you work on your strengths, something like you'll be able to increase your performance by 80%. If you work on your weaknesses, you'll increase it by 10%. And so if you actually focus on what you're good at, you'll find that you'll grow a lot quicker and you'll start to excel in whatever it is, rather than focusing on what we can't do so well or what other people are doing so well. So think about your strengths, identify them, and then think, where can I implement these in my week to help me raise my self-esteem? And if you are struggling to identify what your strengths might be, then reach out to loved ones, people you care about, your friends and family, and ask them, what are my strengths? And sometimes it's quite nice to get them to text this to you, because then if you're ever having a moment where you feel a little bit low, a little bit down, you can save these text messages and you can go back over and read them. And I know that has previously really helped me. So find out what your strengths are. Think of them yourself is amazing. If not, ask somebody else and then think, okay, how could I put this into my life daily and weekly? So for example, if someone says to you, you're an amazing listener, well then how can you help others by sitting there and listening? And that will help you raise your self-esteem and your self-worth. Next is actually spending time with yourself, A, alone, and B, if you want to sort of really push yourself, then also naked, or not necessarily naked, but maybe with less clothes on, and actually spending time with your physical body. We spend so much time hiding ourselves, feeling embarrassed and, getting changed under towels and turn the lights off. And we're just not some of us are just not used to spending time with ourselves, either in the mirror or in person, and actually kind of touching ourselves, giving yourself a physical stroke if you've got a tummy ache, or just holding on to yourself, giving yourself a bit of a cuddle. Now, some of you might be thinking, it sounds so icky, I can't do this. I remember feeling like that. I remember feeling this is not the answers I wanted. I just wanted to click my fingers and feel better about myself. I didn't want to have to go through all this uncomfortable feelings of doing this. But it does get easier, and it can get easier a lot quicker. So spend time looking at yourself every single day. And it will feel difficult to start with, but then very quickly you'll actually realise it feels really normal to look at yourself in the mirror, and you're not so quick to look at the negatives. And those times when you're walking down the street and you catch yourself in the shop window, that just, at the moment, if you're not used to spending time with yourself and looking at yourself, and, you might find that quite difficult. But those will be the moments when you'll look back and think, I actually didn't have a go at myself then. I actually didn't find something negative to say about myself, because you've got used to spending this time with yourself and spending time alone. If you're somebody that doesn't like to do that, some people do like to do that, so that's not something they need to do anymore. But if you are finding it hard to spend time on your own, then you need to do it so you can show yourself that you are safe on your own. You're safe thinking about your internal thoughts and feelings. And when you're spending this time on your own, try not to be on social media, try not to be, getting double busy with yourself. Just try and allow yourself to sort of sit, see what comes up. Just rest, go for walks, and just listen to your internal body messages. And what else have we got for top tips? So we've got some quirky top tips for you. So you can start to push yourself outside your comfort zone here. Now these are fun, and it's good to challenge yourself to do these, because it also, once you've completed it, you start to build that trust with yourself again. A lot of us just don't trust ourselves because we've asked ourselves to do something and we've not been able to do it. We've set ourselves far too challenging tasks, and therefore we've, failed, although we know actually we haven't failed. Or in terms of dieting, we try and do what has been sold to us as a simple, easy diet, but yet we can't quite do it, and we blame it on ourselves. And therefore, we don't have trust with ourselves that we are able to do what we say we're going to do and do what we want to do. So by setting yourselves small but challenging and fun tasks, you will start to build up that trust muscle with yourself, which is so important. So here are some for you. Dress like the person you want to be, or maybe the person you used to be. So decide, how do I want to dress? If you're dressing right now exactly how you want to, or how you truly want to, then great. But if you're not, think, okay, let's pull out that piece of clothing from the wardrobe that I just don't feel comfortable enough wearing it, and wear it. And think, who do I want to be, and how do I want to dress? Okay, and it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm asking you to be brave. But actually, the only person that will be feeling those feelings is you. So try that one for a task. The second one, go out for a drink or some food to a cafe and restaurant on your own, especially in a busy place where this sometimes might feel really difficult for you. And enjoy being on your own, and cheer yourself on, and remind yourself when you're there, you are safe. You don't need to be with other people. You can do these things on your own, or you don't need to sort of stay inside if you're on your own. And just enjoy being in the moment, people watching, but showing yourself that you are worthy enough of experiencing life on your own. Another one is make eye contact with strangers. Practice with those awkward moments. Look at someone in the eye and smile at them, or say hi. We quite often sort of walk around with our heads down, avoiding eye contact, just staying on our own little head. But actually, if you look up and really start to look at people, it can just raise your internal vibe. But also, it's so nice when you catch someone's eye and you both smile. You may not get the same response, but that's okay. And do something that scares you. Try and do something that scares you. Think of something that you've told yourself, I cannot do. I would never be able to do that. And push yourself to do it. So that might be an activity. It might be a physical activity. It might be a mental activity. It might be having a conversation with someone. I could never say that to them. But actually, if saying that to them is going to increase your self-worth, then do it. Absolutely do it. And then the motto I want you to try and just start practicing with is be, do, have. So be the person that does the things so that you can have it. So be that person that has confidence. Do the things of someone that is confident so you can have confidence. And a question that I often ask myself is, what would my future self do in this moment? What action would my future self take today? When I'm doubting myself in work, I'll think, well, my future confident self would just send that email and action it. Or my future confident self would wear those clothes and own it. So I want you to challenge yourself and question yourself with that. And then some more is you can set your boundaries. That's going to increase your self-worth, which is going to increase your confidence. You can stop people pleasing as well, because the more you people please, usually the more your confidence will come down with your self-worth. There's so many little things you can do. And as you'll see from what I've just said there, not really any of them are to do with the outside physical body. They're all to do with the inside, and that's where it comes from. I hope you've enjoyed this mini podcast. Send it on to anyone you think it might help. And next up, we have 2 more mini podcasts and a guest speaker, Rachel Evans. Thank you. Bye.